The final jury in the Diddy trial will be selected on Friday with opening arguments to start on Monday. Now, the way this happened is they bring in a huge group of people. That's called the jury pool. They narrow those down after a question and answer period to see if they're qualified. That's called the voir dire. They narrow that down to 45 people, and that is called the jury panel, and the jury is selected from the jury panel. Now, they selected the panel today, but the judge said, I'm going to give them a couple of days to make sure none of them drop out because they decide they don't want to serve. So they got a little reprieve to decide if they want to be in this 8-week long trial. I'm guessing everybody's going to want to stay on this one. Either way, the most interesting thing for me that happened is Mark Geragos and what happened with him and the judge yesterday. So y'all know who Mark Geragos is. He represented Michael Jackson. He represented the Menendez brothers. He's represented a lot of famous people. And he's sitting behind the defense table in this trial because his daughter is defending Diddy. He says he's there for moral support, and that's it. But the prosecution thinks that he is there to act as a consultant and that he's chatting with them. Now, they sent a letter to the judge saying, hey, if he's going to sit back there and be a consultant, then he needs to be held to the same standards as the lawyers. There's a rule in New York that says if you're representing someone, you can't really talk publicly about the case, about the evidence, and do anything that would influence the public regarding this case. Well, Mark Geragos has a podcast, and he was talking on his podcast, and he said that the prosecution looked like a six-pack of white women. A six-pack of white women. The prosecution obviously had a problem with that. They brought it up to the judge. The judge takes him back into his robing room, and he talks to him. Now, it's on the record, but it's in private, and he dresses him down. The judge says nobody should be saying stuff like this, especially a member of the bar, and that this comment was outrageous. And he said, I'll be watching you. You just got a new listener. The problem with these comments is that it brings race into the picture. And by saying it's a six-pack of women, it sounds like they're prosecuting a vendetta. Definitely something that could influence a potential jury pool. So I don't listen to Mark Geragos. Y'all let me know if he says anything else on his podcast, or maybe I'll just wait for the judge to tell me.